Hey, real quick before the video starts, I just want to say, so this is an incredibly long video. It's going to have two parts. Part one is the team builder. It's going to be a live team builder, so I go through from start to finish, making a team for an opponent for a counter team league that I'm in, and then the part two is the battle. So I'm going to leave a annotation that'll link you directly to the battle if you just would like to watch that. I totally don't blame you if that's what you prefer to do, because the team building process ends up being really long. I was kind of hoping it would be like 30 minutes. It was over 60 minutes. So click on that if you just want to watch the battle. If you want to watch the whole team builder, kudos to you. You are my champion. You are my hero. Thanks for giving it your all and gutting it out for the long video. But yeah, if you just want to watch the battle, click that. Thanks for tuning in, and here's the video. Hey guys, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and I'm coming to you guys today with a video that is a little different than anything I've done on my channel before. And it's certainly been done on YouTube before. I'm not saying that this is particularly original or anything, but by the time this video goes up, you will have noticed that there is not a Week 8 UBC match. Unfortunately, I was on the winning end of another forfeit this week. And we were going to play the Verd, but the Verd is not available to play. So there's really nothing I can do about that. But it does put us to 6-2. Now, I didn't want to go 2 weeks without having a battle for a league. So I do play in another league besides the UBC with a couple of friends. We have, it's a counter team league, and I haven't really been posting it to YouTube. There are some people who do post to YouTube. It's a lot of fun, and the teams are really good. And I thought this would be, I could post a video about this league for this week, and to make it a little different, I thought I would do a live team building video for this, and then I'll post the battle in right afterwards. So you can watch the team builder and then the game right afterwards. And I thought this would just be cool so I could have a video so you guys can maybe get a look into my team building process. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect team builder, that I'm a great team builder or anything like that. But I just thought it would be fun to do something different, and maybe if it helps one person, it's worth it. So with all that said, just to talk about the league a little bit more, I am 6-2 in the league, and this is week number 9 that's coming up. So there's 8 teams in the league total. Everybody plays each other twice. So we played everybody once in the first 7 weeks, and then you play everybody again in the last 7 weeks. Same order, same schedule. So I am playing Jason this week. So Jason took over for a team from that was actually from another video that I posted. I posted a video versus Mason, and so this is Mason's team. It was called something different back then. I honestly don't remember, but he does have Mega Pincer on the team, and the team that I had at the time was really weak to Mega Pincer. I'm still pretty weak to Mega Pincer, but so Jason's taken it over, and since he took it over, he's won like 3 or 4 games either in a row, or like he's only lost 1 game in the last 4 or 5 games. So he's really done pretty well with his team. He made a couple of swaps to his team. For example, he had a Muck that he dropped for Cradley so that he could have another Stealth Rocker besides Garchomp. He dropped Electros for Gastrodon, and then he added a Togekiss in free agency. At the middle of the season, we were all allowed to add an OU Mon, so that just to supplement our teams. I ended up adding Heatran because I wanted a Fairy and Dragon and Flying Resist. Unfortunately, Heatran is still weak to Pinsir. So despite my best efforts, I still don't have a great matchup against Pinsir. But I do have Doublade now. I had a Darmanitan before, which was awesome. But I just needed another Flying and Fairy and Dragon Resist. So Doublade was a great pick, and then Doublade's great in its own right. Swords Dance sets are all good. It can be defensive if you need it. It can run Pursuit. It has priority. So anyway, Pincer is a big threat. I also don't have a really fantastic ground resist. I guess I've got Salamence and Latias, but Latias and Salamence both don't appreciate the dragon move, obviously. Even a defensive Salamence. I had a defensive Salamence in the last game, and he did 40% with Dragon Tail from Garchomp. It was an uninvested Garchomp. And then Pokemon like Crawdaunt are really threatening. Alakazam can be scary. Excelgor for spikes is really good. And yeah, and even Pokemon like this Magius and Lantern can be really threatening. So what I'm thinking here is, when I tried to counter Mega Pinsir before, I used the most gimmicky things I could think of. I used Focus Sash Mienshao and Koba Berry Tangrowth. I still might end up using one of the two of those, but what I'm picturing my number one counter to Pinsir being is Doublade. Now, Doublade still is weak to the really common coverage that Pinsir gets, like Earthquake, but I do have a calc here. As you guys can see, a max or nearly max health Doublade is still only going to take 86.5% from an Earthquake from a +2 Pinsir. The only thing I haven't checked is how much does Adamant do. So Adamant does 94.6% max. So we can live one and we can KO back with Rock Slide. So this is even without any defense investment. What we might do is we might put a little bit into defense. Like say, let's put like 16. Yeah, so that 16 is enough for us to guaranteed live after Stealth Rock. Yeah, guaranteed to it KO. So I think this is the set that we're going to run. I wonder if we just put 252 in here. Okay, so that's guaranteed as well. What if we put 248? No, so we need 252. We'll do 248 plus 8. That's what we'll do. So that's going to be the mon that we start with. It's going to be Doublade. Eviolite is the item that we want. No guard because it doesn't have any other abilities. I'm thinking Shadow Sneak, probably Iron Head. Rock Slide is the main move I want here, obviously, to hit that Pinsir super effectively. And I'm not sure what I want this last slot for now. I guess I could go Swords Dance. Sacred Sword is also an option. I don't really anticipate using this as a sweeper. So I think I'm more tempted just to put coverage on it. Also, instead of Iron Head, we could put Gyro Ball if we wanted. We'll make that evaluation later. I'm not too worried about it. But I think Sacred Sword is probably going to be the move, because we do want something to hit Scrafty and Pokemon like that. Also Crawdaunt. Another good question is going to be, how much does Crawdaunt do? So Knockoff does a ton. It doesn't kill, but it does a ton. So if we're in a emergency situation and we kind of have to hit the panic button, we can take one Knockoff and go for Sacred Sword. I'm surprised that Sacred Sword doesn't kill, honestly. Is there another move that we can use? I don't think so. Because otherwise it would just be like a grass move or electric move, but we don't have anything like that. Even in the non-viable moves, there's nothing that's there. We do get Fury Cutter. Aerial Ace is interesting, but I don't think there's anything that Aerial Ace hits. So yeah, we're just going to go with Sacred Sword. Doublade actually has a pretty decent matchup against his team. So I do like bringing this week. We are going to have to be really careful with it. We don't want 8 there. We want 8 here. So we can guaranteed live a +2 Earthquake from an Adamant Pinsir that's at +2. I might have just said that twice. And anyway, Gallahan is the nickname for Doublade because that's awesome. Okay. So now what else do we want to pick? I still think we want to back up Pinsir check. And I'm thinking that that's going to end up being Mienshao. Yeah, Mienshao is actually nice because it can take a little bit of damage. It can take some chip damage. And you can eventually get back up to full health with Regenerator, potentially. And that way you can have the full benefit of your Focus Sash. Now, the only problem is, what am I really taking a hit from? Maybe like a Bug Buzz from Excelgor, or a Shadow Ball from a non-life orb Mismagius, a Volt Switch from Lantern, something like that. But yeah, in terms of counters to Pinsir, otherwise, I don't have anything else. I could run physically defensive Salamence, but let's do some calcs. I might end up running it anyway. Fat Mints. Let's go to Pinsir. I'll use Swords Dance. Yeah, so I mean, look at this. This factors in and Intimidate. And just so we're being positive about this, let's take that off. Make this -1. Whoops, there we go. So you can see, Salamence is not a counter. It doesn't matter. So I'm not really too inclined to add it. It does do okay against Crawdaunt, I guess, because it resists Waterfall and Aqua Jet and things like that. But I'm just not that inclined to use it defensively. The last time I brought Salamence, I actually used it offensively, and I got a sweep at the end because his Dragon Resist was non-existent at the time. Now he's got Togekiss. So I think I might bring a DD Salamence again, but I'll be packing Iron Tail, or potentially Steel Wing, depending upon how much it does to Togekiss. The other option is Kyurem. How much is Kyurem going to do with moves like Dragon Claw and things like that? The problem is that Kyurem's just too slow in this matchup. It's outsped by Garchomp, Pinsir, Starmie, Alakazam, Galvantula, Excelgor, Mismagius. All those things outspeed. And then if he wants to bring like Choice Scarf Togekiss, or even Speed Boost Combuskin, are all going to outspeed a Kyurem. So it's not as great this week. It'd be nice for things like Cradily, I guess. But Cradily, the only thing that it takes super effective damage from is Ice Beam. Oh, I don't know. What kind of grass coverage does Kyurem get? Just HP grass, it looks like. In full disclosure, so this is the second week that I have Kyurem. I had Hoopa Unbound here earlier, but the league voted to ban Hoopa after Smogon banned it. So me, obviously, I'm going to be salty about it because I had it on my team and now I don't. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I wish I had it still. So yeah, I don't think that Kyurem's going to be all that great because there are a lot of offensive checks to it, and surprisingly, he's got some pretty decent defensive checks to it, like Gastrodon. And Lantern isn't going to really want to take out Earth Power, but it's not Stab. It's hitting Lantern on the special side where it's really bulky, as you guys can see. Well, it's not really bulky, but this is its bulkier side. So is it a 2-hit KO? Probably. Anyway, so what I'm thinking is I do want to run Salamence. And if I want to run Salamence again, because if he's running something like Choice Band Crawdaunt like he did last time, or he's running Scarf Garchomp and he's got Earthquake, we can come in on the Choice Locked Earthquake, set up a DD, and I think we win. Because seriously, his only resist is Togekiss. And let's look at this. So let's say Salamence Just Dance, I assume, is it? So let's say Togekiss. OU defensive. +1. Does that much after rocks. What if we make this Life Orb? Definitely kills. Obviously, we're relying on a 75% accurate move to do that. And this is also assuming he's bold. He might not run bold. Let's look at this. So that crushes him. And what if we do, I don't know, like, not careful, calm. Yeah, so calm nature takes 93.5% minimum from +1. Even a 0 or a +0 Salamence does 63.1. Let's look at Life Orb. Yeah, so Life Orb is going to Oko after Stealth Rock. So what I'm thinking this week for Salamence, so let's add Salamence. Let's add Life Orb, Intimidate. I do like Intimidate more than Moxie. Because what do we need the +1? Like, after I get up 1 DD, what do I need? What do I need the extra attack for? Maybe Gastrodon? I don't even know about that. I guess the other thing I could do is I could make it Scarf. And then... But the problem is, you know, he does have Togekiss, so I can't just lock myself into Dragon Claw or whatever. I want to have the ability to switch up moves. So I am going to stick with Dragon Dance. And then Intimidate gives me the ability to set up on something like Scrafty, Crawdaunt, kind of. And we can set up on Combuskin as well. I'm not really threatened by that. Sorry guys, my cat's making noises. So yeah, we are going to go Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw. We are going to go Iron Tail. And the last move, so I would like to run Lum, but instead I think I'm going to run Substitute. And the reason we can run Substitute is so that we can dodge things like Thunder Wave from a Lantern. We can maybe dodge a Will-O-Wisp from Mismagius. We can dodge Toxic from Cradily, Toxic from Gastrodon, things like that. I mean, we are outsped, admittedly, by things like Mismagius, but we're not going to set up on Mismagius. Let's see. What kind of speed do we want on this thing? So this is a base 85 before it Mega Evolves. Pretty sure. Yeah, base 85. So base 85 is going to hit 295 speed with a Jolly Nature. So we need to make sure we get to 296. And then we'll put the rest into... Actually, so I don't know. I don't know if this is getting too cute or not. But this is a Life Orb number, I think. It might not be a Life Orb number, but you, if I understand correctly, you take Life Orb damage equal to the first 2 digits of your HP. Or basically anything but the last one. So we take 32 hits, or 32 damage from every Life Orb recoil. So instead of taking 33. So we would still live on 1 HP if we did 10 attacks before, if we have 331. Like if we put this up to 331 there. It'll leave us with 9 instead. So I don't know if it makes a huge difference. Probably just making it overly complicated. But, you know, I don't care. I like it, so we're going to do it this way. So we can just put the rest into defense, which is going to, you know, slightly complement our Intimidate. 16 EVs is not a lot. But, you know, it might help us live something like, you know, we can maybe take our Dragon Tails a little bit better. We can take Aqua Jet really well. We can take a knockoff or a high jump kick from Scrafty. Does Scrafty get Ice Punch? Yes, it does. So that's important to keep in mind. Now, I am still a little bit concerned about like Scrafty and Crawdaunt as far as dark types go. So I don't really have a dark resist on my team. I've got Mienshao and Lopunny. Neither of those count. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I want to run a Rocky Helmet Tangrowth. I think that's going to be my best bet. So let's go for that. And it does seem like this set's getting really popular on the OU ladder. But so we can run something like really cheeky with this. We can run Sleep Powder, we can run Leech Seed, Giga Drain. Now, do I want to run Hidden Power Rock, or do I want to run Knockoff? Knockoff doesn't really hit anything on his team that I want to stay in on. Yeah, he doesn't have anything besides Starmie that's weak to it. And Tangrowth is not a switch in for Starmie. And besides, we're going to be wanting to go for Giga Draining against Starmie. So I think Hidden Power Rock is the better choice. I do know that a fully physically defensive Tangrowth is going to be able to take 1 return if it's at full HP. And just so, in case you guys didn't believe me, which, that's not like I'm making this up. 252. Let's make that 248. That's 8. Pinsir. OU Swords Dance. So yeah, it takes 89.8 from return. So if he does have Stealth Rock up, it's got a pretty good chance to kill, or it's got a small chance to kill us. It's not guaranteed that we'll live. And then HP Rock does that much back. So if he comes in on 1 Stealth Rock switch in, before he Mega Evolves, HP Rock still kills with this investment. So I think this is a good set. And if we get our Rocky Helmet knocked off, it's not the end of the world. The Rocky Helmet's not super important for us. Regenerator, we could run Leftovers instead, but the Regenerator is going to help us out a lot. We have Leech Seed to get a little bit of recovery back. So I think I'm pretty satisfied with that set. I forgot to put nicknames. This is Blackhawk, and Tangrowth is Noodles. The nicknames, if you didn't know, are the most important part. So we got to see. So what are we still weak to? Excelgor is checked pretty well by both Salamence and Doublade. If it's Final Gambit, that's a little bit more of a concern. I'm still feeling like we're kind of weak to Starmie. So if we are feeling pretty weak to Starmie, we could surround something like Assault Vest Blastoise. I don't know. What could we run? We could run a Cacturn because it has Sucker Punch. So how much does a Sucker Punch do? Let's say we're like this, and let's say we're Adamant. So Starmie. So Sucker Punch easily kills that one. What about a Utility? That kills as well. So I don't think that that's a bad option. His Dark Resists, he actually has several Dark Resists. Scrafty and Crawdaunt are 2 options. The nice thing about Cacturn in this matchup is that we probably do outspeed some threats. We speed tie with Crawdaunt. And what's Scrafty's speed? It's 58, so we're outsped by Scrafty. So what if we run a Jolly? So if we run a Jolly, we're still going to be killing defensive Starmie with Sucker Punch. So yeah, I think I'm okay with... Well, so the only problem with Cacturn is how much more weak do I want to make myself to Pinsir? That's what I'm not sure of. Sorry if this isn't the most interesting, guys. This is kind of what I have to do. I just have to sit here and think and, what am I going to do? The other thing I could do is he doesn't have a flying resist. Except Lantern. So Braviary is a thing that we could run. But Braviary is still just it's not gonna do anything against Garchomp or Pinsir or Gastrodon or Lantern. So yeah, let's hold back on Cacturn for now. I think if I run Cacturn, I'm gonna be disinclined from running Mienshao with Focus Sash, because then that's 3 flying weaknesses on the team. And even if Mienshao is built to counter Pinsir, I just don't want to make myself too vulnerable, because what if I can't keep rocks off the field and then Mienshao is going to die to any flying move? I just don't think it's worth it. Even if we put like a Koba Berry, Mienshao, Pinsir, So even quick attack is like pretty much guaranteed OHKO. Cobra Berry is enough to reduce quick attack to acceptable level, but it still dies to return, and you know we can't just risk the speed tie in a situation like that. So yeah, let's stay away from Cacturn for now. It does check Crawdaunt, unless it's got superpower. It doesn't check Scrafty because obviously it gets Fighting Stab. So I just want to add Mienshao. And this thing is named One More Thing. Now, one advantage I have in this match: Fake Out, Knock Off, High Jump Kick, U-Turn, Rock Slide. I do want max speed in case we do potentially win a speed tie. But if he has Pincer in, there's no reason why he wouldn't go for just quick attack, because it's going to kill almost any... It's going to kill every variant of Mienshao. You know, it'd be nice to put knockoff on here, but I'd rather... I don't know, I guess I could take it off for Fake Out. But how good is knockoff against his team? Hits Mismagius. But yeah, I think I'd rather just have Fake Out, just for whatever chip damage we need. Okay, so here's what we have here. So I'm still feeling weak to Starmie. So I'm not thinking I'm going to run Mega Lopunny this week for the reasons that I mentioned. It's going to be weak to Pinsir, and I don't want to have any more Pinsir weaknesses than I already have. It stinks because it is going to be a good counter to like a lot of the other stuff on his team. It's not going to take on like Togekiss that well. Lantern can take 1 or 2 hits. Starmie might be able to take a few hits. Mega Lopunny. Let's say Starmie. Utility. Okay, so I stand corrected. It really doesn't take a return that well. But, so that's not going to work. So, I kind of want to run Mega Lottie. The question is... Excuse me. Mega Latios. Mega Calm Mind. Starmie. Offensive. So Ice Beam still does a lot. But if we get up like 1 Calm Mind, then we should be able to stall him out with Roost. So I think that's what I want to do. Another interesting question is how much... So if we go Pinsir... So Pinsir still does a lot. What if we go Max Max? It still does a lot. So this is not a Pinsir counter by any means. But let's say we somehow get to +1. And we go for like Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's a clean OHKO. So if we're at more than 50% health, we can take one. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have yet to run Mega Lottie in the league. I know that a lot of leagues don't have Mega Latios as an option, and this league is funky as well in the fact that you can have multiple Megas on your team, and you don't have to, like certain Megas, you don't have to Mega Evolve. So I have both Latios and Mega Latios on my team is basically what it means. And I think that's really overpowered. And hopefully he doesn't see it coming. So I think I'm going to run... I think they're just going to run Bolt Beam. The only problem is the Lantern. Lantern can take Bolt Beam easily. I don't want to run... I could run Stored Power with Thunderbolt. We'll think about that in a moment here. So we want Calm Mind, Roost, Thunderbolt. The other thing, so Stored Power, plus 20 power for each of the user's stat boosts. So if we get to +1/+1, it becomes a base 60 power move. If we get to +2/+2, it becomes 100 base power. So I think that settles it for me. I prefer Ice Beam. And this is Hellcat. So the question is, do we want to consider running some amount of speed on this thing? What on his team? What are some speed tiers that we need to hit? What does Crawdaunt hit at? So that gets nowhere close to where we're at. Garchomp hits 333. This hits 346. This hits 372. Before it Mega Evolves, this hits 295. So yeah, I think basically there's nothing that I'm really that pressed to outspeed. This hits 284. So yeah, so I'm fine with max. And I think I'd rather get 8 on here. So one question is, what if we are up against Togekiss? And let's say it's that. Like it's Choice Scarf or something. And he's packing Dazzling Gleam. So that does not a lot. So that's like the same as Starmie, using Ice Beam. So we take one Dazzling Gleam. We go for Calm Mind. It does 56.7% max. And then it does 38.5% max. So that can't 2-hit KO. Even if we get up a +1 in between. So I think Calm Mind Lottie has the potential to be pretty cool here. So in our last slot, I'm kind of leaning towards Blastoise, because it is going to be a good counter to Crawdaunt, or a decent counter to Crawdaunt. Can counter Combuskin. The reason I want Blastoise is obviously for hazard removal. It's just a question of what else does what else does well against his team, and what are we unprepared for? I don't know. Like, so I didn't bring hazard control the last time. What I did was I brought Taunt on Mienshao. But that worked better last time because his only rocker was Garchomp, but now he has Cradily. So it's going to be harder for me to prepare for both of those situations. So yeah, I feel like my last mon has to be Blastoise. I still don't have Stealth Rock on this team. That's a problem. I desperately need rocks. I only have Heatran and Mesprit with rocks. I had some other Stealth Rockmon before. What did I swap? I had Druddigon before. I had Druddigon for rocks. So, okay, we're going to have to revisit that. We might be able to go with some sort of Calm Mind Mesprit set. No, because Stealth Rock Calm Mind doesn't make any sense. And also, we don't get Bolt Beam. We get Thunder Punch, Ice Punch. So, let me put Blastoise on because I think we need it. I think Leftovers is fine, Torrent's fine, Rapid Spin, Scald. So with these last moves, I think actually Aura Sphere is a good move. Because it hits Scrafty, it hits Crawdaunt, it hits Cradily, it hits Lantern neutrally at least. And then I'm trying to decide what we should go with for the last move. Something like Mirror Coat's tempting for Starmie. But I'm wondering if I wouldn't prefer something like Toxic. Or even Dragon Tail. It's a good question. I really am not sure what I want. I think I'm going to go with Toxic for now. So what kind of spread do we want? So we have 2 physically defensive Mons already. We have Tangrowth, and then Doublade's not really defensive, but it, you know, it has a humongous Like, look at its defense stat, 338, almost completely uninvested, plus it's Eviolite boosted. So that's like almost 500, more than 500 stat there. So that's crazy. But what else? Like, so what is countering? What counters his team? I think we might need to run this Spadef. Another thing that we could do is run Wakanberry, just for Lantern and for Starmie. But I feel like the recovery is too important. But I don't know. As I'm looking at this team, one thing I am really weak to is Alakazam. So that might be one case for running something like Scarf Ments instead of DD. So yeah, so let's do a calc. Let's say Blastoise, Bulky Spinner, Alakazam. So if he has something like Energy Ball, that does a lot. So what if we are Calm? 252 Calm. It still does a lot. So now that I'm thinking about it, so Starmie. What if we have Thunderbolt? So it does that much. What about this? And we make ourselves bold again. So what I'm thinking is, so I do want to run Mirror Coat, I think, is what I've decided. I've used Mirror Coat Blastoise a lot in this league. But I think in this situation it's good. Because I don't really have another answer for Alakazam. Even if I'm running Mega Latias here, and I go Alakazam. So Shadow Ball still does kind of a lot. It's the same situation where if I can get a +1 on it, it should be fine. Of course, Shadow Ball does have that small chance to... also, this is not... Let's assuming that he's not Life Orb. If he's Life Orb, I'm in trouble. But yeah, otherwise Lottie can take one, and it's the same situation as with Togekiss. So anyway, so Leonardo can get a snipe with Mirror Coat, and we should feel pretty good about it. So the question is there anything that we can do to make ourselves a little bit less vulnerable to special attackers? Because I don't want to run fully specially defensive. The reason for that is my Mirror Coat is going to do less damage if I'm fully physically defensive. But see, I need some investment here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put enough investment into here so that we live a Life Orb Shadow Ball after Stealth Rock. It says 6.3% chance to OHKO. Guaranteed to a KO with 148 investment. So we need 148. So we do that. Now the only other thing that I want to try and figure out here, so let me do this. Hit back. The one thing I do want to check, clear clipboard, that's fine. New team, import. So I just want to figure out, so it's 283 here. So what if we just get this down to 283? 283. That gets us to 288. That's 289. So strictly speaking, the other EV spread is better. You know, admittedly it's only better by 1 point. But let's not shortchange ourselves here. Also, let's make this 248 and put 1 into there. So that should be fine. So yeah, I think this is good. So we can live Energy Ball. and kill with Mirror Coat if we come in at full health on Stealth Rocks. So just for fun, if we have Doublade is straight up killed, and we are 248, 8. We have no special defense investment. Even if he's Focus Sash, so it does that much. And we only do 72.5 with Shadow Sneak. So we can bring it in and go for Shadow Sneak at some point in the match if we want. It's just going to be tough. So what else is a threat? How much does a Bug Buzz from Excelgor do? Excelgor. What if it's like something like that? Latias. Mega. So Bug Buzz does a lot. He might not be offensive though. Yeah, so if he's not offensive, then no big deal. If he is offensive, then what's our counter? Besides Blastoise. 252, Life Orb. Blastoise. So now we are 148 in here. So that does enough in return. It does 148 to 177. You multiply that by 2. That is 296. That's almost enough to Oko. And that's on a min roll. And then you also know that it's going to take Life Orb recoil, so it's going to lose 30 health. So Blastoise can take that on. I'm just worried because Blastoise is now under a lot of pressure to deal with a lot of Mons. I guess the good thing is that Excelgor does not deal with Doublade. Unless he's got Hidden Power Ground. I just find that so unlikely. If he does, you know, then great play. There's nothing I can do. I just think if he's bringing Excelgor, he's much more likely to use it as a utility mon than offensively. You know, the other problem is, what if he gets up webs? I haven't considered that at all. And I also haven't considered Galvantula, Blastoise, 148. Yeah, so that annihilates us. We can take one. So I guess one thing we could do, if we don't want to run Tangrowth, we could try and run physically defensive Garbodor to deal with the likes of Scrafty or Crawdaunt. But Garbodor just doesn't hit. Well, no, why am I saying this? Garbodor is not going to do anything against Alakazam with Psychic. It's not going to really want to take a Thunder from Galvantula anyway. So I just think that that's not a great play. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping this up in a little bit here. So let me just go one by one through my Mons, and then one by one through his Mons. So Kyurem, I've decided, is not good for the matchup because he has lots of faster Mons that can easily threaten it, and to be honest, the slower Mons that normally Kyurem takes advantage of actually wall it kind of well. Lopunny can do work, but I'm just too terrified of Pinsir, and if you bring something like Helmet Chomp, it's going to cripple my Lopunny. Latias, it does well. It doesn't do well against Gastrodon and Lantern, so maybe there is some room for improvement there. I'm not sure. But it takes on every other threat pretty well. Doublade, I think, is good. It can take on Pinsir. It takes on Excelgor. It takes on Cradily. Does it take on Galvantula? Probably not. It still does a lot. Actually, Galvantula kind of walls this. Well, I guess we have Rock Slide, right? Rock Slide does a lot of damage, so that plus Shadow Sneak. We can take one. I'm just not going to be eager to take the one because this is my check to Pincer. That's the main problem. Manshao, it's also a backup check for Pincer. It otherwise doesn't do a whole lot. It really doesn't. I mean, could I run Sash Cacturn instead? The Sash Cacturn doesn't deal with his other offensive threats like Starmie and Alakazam. Well, it does. It has Sucker Punch. Cacturn. Yeah, so I mean, Sucker Punch, even with a mild nature, still OHKOs. Alright, I talked myself into it. Cacturn, aka Jonathan, aka the name of Scarecrow in the comics. And I don't hate this either, because, so if we have Focus Sash and we have to take one hit for some reason, we can potentially come back in on a water move and do some damage. So I think Seed Bomb, Sucker Punch, Drain Punch, and what else do we want? I mean, I don't think Swords Dance is worth it. Poison Jab, I guess, for Clefable. Sorry, Togekiss, the other stupid fat fairy type. So let's go Poison Jab. I don't want this, actually, so I do... I don't know, there's not really any point in putting any HP in. 252. Let's put 4 there. So this will speed tie us with Crawdaunt, which I think is worth it. And this is going to outspeed Zero Speed Togekiss. Zero Speed Togekiss hits 196, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it hits 196. So it does outspeed Zero Speed Togekiss, and it can kill with Poison Jab most likely. Let's say, so we're not that. We are Jolly with 252. So if he's Togekiss, if I can spell. And let's say we go for Poison Jab. Wow, that does so little. That's crazy. What if he's offensive? I don't think there's a point in actually accounting for offensive, because he's just going to air slash flinch us. So I don't really care. But do we have a better move that we want to put in this slot? I kind of don't think so. What if Togekiss is weakened and we just want to click that move? Yeah, none of these other moves are any good. So I think I'm fine with that. Or do we want a rock move? Okay, so we don't get any... We do get Hidden Power Rock. So let's say we're naive instead of Jolly. Pincer. Hidden Power Rock. So that's how much that does. It actually does more than the Hidden Power Rock from Tangrowth. So how much would it take to get that up to full? It would take almost complete special attack investment. Okay, so we're just going to run Naive. And that should be fine. And let's put this 4 into here just because. Oh, but this stinks. Hidden Power Rock. Okay, there's got to be some sort of... Nope, there's not a single IV configuration that can get us up to that speed. Shoot. Well, if that's the case, we might as well just try and outspeed Adamant Crawdaunt, which hits 209, so let's get to 210. And put the rest into here. Because, I mean, why not? Well, no, actually, better idea. Adamant Scrafty. Hits 215. So let's get to 216. Okay. There. Okay. So I still think this is it's a response to Pincer. It's not a reasonable response. But if we are full health, we go for Hidden Power Rock. We do like 85% or 80%. Kills us with the next quick attack, and then we go into Gallahan and we Shadow Sneak. And I do think that Shadow Sneak will be able to do Blade. So yeah, if it does 80%, Shadow Sneak will kill. What did we just say it does? Cacturn. Mixed Attacker. We are 252 Naive with 48 here. And we have Hidden Power Rock. Why does it all of a sudden do more? Oh, because it's Life Orb. We are not Life Orb, we are Focus Sash. So yeah, that combination is a guarantee to a KO if he's not defense invested. I don't think he's going to end up being defense invested. So just for fun, if we have Crawdaunt. So we do take a knockoff. We obviously don't take Superpower. That annihilates us. You know, is it worth considering making this more special oriented instead of physical oriented? It's all about the Sucker Punch. Starmie. Cacturn. Yeah, so I mean, it still kills. What about Alakazam? Oh no, this is, sorry, this is Life Orb, which we're not going to be. So that doesn't kill. So how much attack investment do we need in order for that to kill? 176. I still don't have any rocks on this team, which is a problem. I can't run Mesprit. He just has too many dark types that are too threatening. I mean, do I run Heatran for something? Maybe that's what I do. Take Tangrowth off for Heatran. Just if he has the Earthquake, then it's so crappy. And Heatran just matches up really poorly against the rest of his team. Like, he's got Gastrodon, Scrafty, Crawdaunt. I mean, we could bring Colberberry, Mesprit. Physically defensive. I recognize that this is getting pretty long, guys, and if you've made it with me this far, then you guys rock. Crawdaunt. So I don't know if it's worth it. It just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I think it's crazy, guys, but I'm not going to bring rocks this match. As outrageous as that seems. I just don't have a good rocker for this matchup. I mean, I could just bring Mesprit and basically sack it. But he's got both Starmie and Togekiss to defog. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but I think I'm doing it. So anyway, we were saying... So we want to make ourselves more specially oriented. And I don't think it's bad. I think we can go Sucker Punch, Giga Drain. Why don't we just go fully mixed? Draco Meteor is not a move that you learn. Drain Punch, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Rock. So we only need... Sorry, we had this a second ago. Starmie, Cacturn. So if we're not Life Orb, we need 168 attack, 176. 176. So the main question is, so we are Focus Sash. So, I don't know. I'd rather just run fully physical. Yeah, we run Seed Bomb. Hand Power Rock. And the reason for this is because, what if he's defensive? Starmie. Sorry, I just clicked the same set. Starmie, a utility. Because then it doesn't necessarily kill. Without Life Orb. I still think I'm going to go mixed. But I'm going to be physically leaning. I think that's what I'm going to do. Anything else I need to change? I'm still concerned. So I don't have any besides Cacturn, I don't have coverage for Lantern or Gastrodon. No, it's not true. I've got Tangrowth. Tangrowth does pretty well against both of those. That's where Toxic might be useful. Over something like Aura Sphere. Is there anything else I can run Toxic on? I can run it on Doublade. But Doublade doesn't appreciate being in against the things that I want to Toxic. Yeah, that's just my fear now, is being walled by the things like Gastrodon, Lantern. I don't have room for Toxic on anything else besides Blastoise. So it's Aura Sphere or Mirror Coat. I think we gotta keep Mirror Coat. I think we gotta ditch Aura Sphere. Toxic. And I do have fighting coverage elsewhere here. Okay. So all right, I didn't end up finishing my exercise from earlier, but I think we could tweak things all day here. But I think this is what I'm going to settle on. And we're just going to have to maneuver around Jason's team and hope that we can beat him somehow without Stealth Rock. The key to victory might just be get in Salamence and try and sweep. I still think I like DD better than Choice Scarf to have the ability to hit everything. And I think I can pretty comfortably set up on Gastrodon. What about Lantern? So we are 29, 16, 16. So Volt Switch does kill. Or sorry, not kill, but breaks a sub. What if we go 16 in there? So how much special defense will we need for it to not break a sub? A lot. That much. So 140 something. So we can't really set up on Lantern. I guess we can if we anticipate it clicking Toxic. So it might be worth it just to try and click one. The other thing I want to look at is Cradley. Rock Slide does do a good bit. Is it even with Intimidate? Wow, Settlements. What are you doing? We are jolly. Doesn't make much of a difference. I'm really surprised about that. I understand that it's super effective. So that's not really a thing that we can set up on. I think we can kind of set up on Galvantula. Nope, that's a big fat no. So it's really things just like Choice Locked Garchomp, Choice Locked Crawdont, Gastrodon. What about like a -1 Scrafty? Knockoff does kind of a lot. So I can't set up a sub on some of these things, but I can go for a DD. Probably not Scrafty because of this. Yeah, that does a lot. But you know, Excelgor, even offensive, doesn't have a move to do tremendous damage to us. It's just tough. I really don't think I can add Mesprit or Heatran to this team. I don't know what I would take off. I really don't know. The other thing we could do with Lottie, and I promise this is the last change I'm going to make before I contemplate quitting. What if we made it Calm Mind with Dragon Pulse and Psychic? That's going to hit Gastrodon and Lantern a little better. Latias. Mega. Lantern. So if we have Dragon Pulse +1. No, it still doesn't do great. The problem here is that it doesn't kill Pinsir. What about Thunderbolt Dragon Pulse? I think I like that. It still hits Garchomp super effectively. Yeah, let's do Thunderbolt Dragon Pulse. And that should be fine. Because what does Ice Beam hit? It hits Garchomp super effectively. But you know what else does? Dragon Pulse. I guess it makes it a little bit more walled by Cradley, but Cradley can only Toxic in return. We're not walled by Togekiss. So yeah, Dragon Pulse Thunderbolt's the better coverage. Okay, guys. So after an hour and 2 minutes of working on this, I think we're gonna call it quits here. Kudos to you if you watched this whole damn video. I definitely am appreciative of that. Please let me know if you have any feedback on my team building process. You know, sometimes, you know, I feel like I kind of winged it to some extent. Usually, like, I go through and I get careful calculation of what all the weaknesses are on the opponent's team. But I think I did a decent enough job recognizing the weaknesses just based on looking at it for an hour. So that should be fine. Yeah, so we're now going to go ahead and hop on into the battle. So I want to thank you guys for watching this far. Stay tuned, and we'll see if we can't pull out a win. Okay, we are back, and we are starting our battle with Jason. And I just can't help but laugh. I spent so much time worrying about Pinsir and other things, and he didn't even bring it. He didn't bring the Crawdont. He didn't bring the Starmie. Oh, okay, goodness. Alright, let's focus here. So what are his likely leads? I think Galvantula is most likely. Yeah, I still don't have a great response for Galvantula. It's kind of a problem. I'm wondering if I should just... So it's probably Focus Sash, most likely. So Blastoise is not incredibly useful this game, except for spinning. So let's just lead Blastoise. Yeah, so here comes the Galvantula. So I know we can take one. I think he's just going to set up webs, and because he's thinking I'm going to switch out of here. He just sets up webs, that's fine. Alright, so here comes the Thunder. Let's calc, just so we're sure that we're going to be able to survive this. Blastoise. We have 283 here. Let's go up. Alright, Galvantula. We are living. Alright, so he just Volt Switches, so something's taking a fat hit here. If we're lucky, it's something like Garchomp. Ooh, that does damage. So I do think I want to try and spin here. If he goes for something like SD, we're not in a great spot, but we do have priority in the back. Okay, so now we're not living a Thunder. Let's just check Volt Switch here. 43 to 51.3. We took 47.1. So yeah, that sounds about right. So now we don't have anything that can really take this. We can go Latias. But then he's just going to go into Alakazam. If it's not Life Orb, then we can take a couple of hits. Yeah, I don't have another play, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to set up webs here. I think he's just pissed off at my Blastoise. And he also knows that he... Okay, so yeah, the Thunder does come out. I think actually we can pretty... Alright, so this is actually a precarious situation. I didn't fully think this through, because I thought he was just going to Volt Switch again. But for some reason I thought he was going to. Mega Latias. So 55% max. And then what does it do if we're +1? 36.9. So let's just do a little math. 36.9 plus 55. 91.9. Yeah, we don't really want to take this. I'm just going to Roost. Oh, that would have been such a nice time to... It would have been a nice time to go for... Well, what are you going to do? So what's Scrafty going to do to us? We're 252. What about Ice Punch? It doesn't do a lot. So yeah, I think we're fine to Calm Mind here. He probably didn't expect that we were Mega. Yeah, that does nothing. So I think we go again. He's eventually going to go into something like Gastrodon, I think. It's Power Up Punch. Alright, so let's 2 a KO him with Dragon Pulse now. The only thing that's going to be stinky is if he's Assault Vest. Which he might be. He gets a crit. That's fine. Yeah, so crits are not doing much. How much of a jerk move would it be if I click the timer on him? I'm definitely not going to do that. We're just trying to dodge these 10% freezes every time. So we're going to Roost up again here. So he can Thunderwave us, and that's not great. I almost clicked Thunderbolt. I kind of wish I had. But even if he's like Choice Scarf with D-Gleam, that's not going to do a lot to us. Wow. That's not bad. And we do outspeed, so I'm just going to click Thunderbolt again. Yeah, I guess I could Roost. Roost is better. I think I've lost. I'm not sure, man. If you've got Garchomp with Dragon Claw, yeah. So now we're at 16% more health than we were before. I guess if I really wanted to be a jerk, I could keep on Calm Minding, but I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to be too greedy here, because he could get a crit. He could go for T-Wave. You know, any of those things are possible. But I am pretty proud that we were able to identify that Mega Lottie would be a really nice win condition for us. So here comes Zam. I just want to Roost. Well, let's do a Calc first. Alakazam. We are +2. And our moves are Dragon Pulse, which does look like it kills. Thunderbolt. So that's how much it does there. What if he's Life Orb? It does 33% max. So I don't think there's a point in roosting. No, I guess... No, there's not a point in roosting. It's okay, so he's not even Life Orb. He is Sash. So I think we can now roost up on this. I still think that Garchomp has a chance to do work against us, or if he gets a crit on Galvantula, you know, anything's possible. The thing is, you know, so this is not my only win condition. If I somehow lose this, I still have Dragon Dance Salamence in the back, and now that Togekiss is gone, we can just SD once and go for Dragon Dance once and go for Declaw after that, and feel pretty good about it. Yeah, because now he could totally go into something like Galvantula, and he can easily Toxic me. So I don't think he's lost yet, but it's in my favor, certainly. Yeah, so here comes the Gastrodon. This thing is so bulky. Okay, that did more than I thought it would. Yeah, and as I expected, there goes the Toxic. Luckily, it is a 2-hit KO. And nothing can switch into this. Galvantula dies, Scrafty dies, Garchomp dies. That's a bummer. Oh, man. So do I save this? Because he's just going to recover stall me until I can't do this anymore. Yeah, let's go Noodles. Now I wish I had just Calm Minded. BNI, I just think we Sleep Powder. And hope that we hit, which we do. That's nice. Let's Seed. Just because I'm that guy. Still don't have a switch in for this. So let's see. I still think I want to keep Jonathan just in case the Gastrodon becomes a problem. I think I can pretty safely just... I don't know what I want to do. How much does Shadow Sneak from Doublade do. To Galvantula. It does a lot. Yeah, it'll kill with the combination of Toxic and Leech Seed damage. But he makes a nice play and he full switches out. Well done. So how much is this knockoff gonna do? That much. We can take it. Yeah, that's fine. I can't believe he didn't bring Pinsir. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so I'm thinking we just Shadow Sneak here. He goes into Garchomp, sacks it off. Good play. Or, it's not sacking it off, he's getting me to take the recoil. But yeah, now I think we just... Has he gotten any turns of sleep? I don't think so. Yeah, let's just Hidden Power Rock. Nope. It is a 2-hit KO, though. Leech Seed probably would have been the better play, but I wanted to try and snipe that incoming Galvantula. Pretty sure Galvantula will kill a Tangrowth that's fully physically defensive. Let's see here. 252. Yep, that's a straight up Oko. Yeah, we gotta decide what we want to let die here. We can go Jonathan and come down to Sash. And then Sucker Punch for the kill. That should be fine. And then he brings in Gastrodon and we could go drain it and then that thing dies. That's a bummer. Not even gonna let me have this one. That's okay, we have Giga Drain. We do outspeed. Alright, so that's looking like a 5-0 victory. Unless, of course, the Sucker Punch doesn't kill Galvantula, but Galvantula's got paper-thin defenses. So that's GG. So, good job, Jason. That was a lot of fun. You brought a completely different team than what I thought you would. I was really unprepared, but just relying on Mega Lottie to weaken the team was really nice. Without something like Crawdaunt, it's just really hard for you to take advantage of it once it got to +1. So GG. And as I mentioned at the end of the last part, the team building part, I really want to thank you guys for watching. You guys are the ultimate troopers if you watch this whole thing. If you guys just watch the battle, you know, that's totally fine too. It was a fun battle though. So thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to check back for more Pokemon content, and until the next time, I will see you guys later.